Hare Krishna, good evening everybody. Well, first of all, I'm very grateful you've all ventured out in this nasty weather for the start off, and I'm very grateful and very ecstatic. I'm coming down here and it's very ecstatic this evening, right? For two big reasons for me. One is this beautiful altar, which seems to get more beautiful and beautiful every week. I'm very impressed and very grateful that people spend time and love and energy to do that. We should turn this Quakers meeting house into a Krishna temple, actually.
Jaya.
Yeah. Isn't it beautiful? And also the ecstatic sound coming from the high street, in the rain, through the rain. How wonderful, eh? Always nice to hear that. And there's a few bright faces in here now, isn't there? Emanating effulgence as well, have you noticed? So there's a lot of ecstasy in here this evening. Yeah? Oh yeah. Today's that's a very special day actually. It's Nityananda's appearance day, or Nityananda's appearance day. We'll talk a little bit about that when we have a program tomorrow over at Radha's to celebrate that. So we won't go talk about it too much, but just a little touch on that afterwards. It's also the appearance day of Lord Varaha, an incarnation of Krishna, the born incarnation. Today also, so it's a real, there's a lot of stuff going on today, right? Very nice. So, we'll get down to it. Nobody new, so I don't have to explain anything to anybody. You're all experts, or advanced Vaishnavas, by the looks of things. We'll just get on with it. More Kirtan.
Hey
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Harinam Sankirtan ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Gaura-Arati ki jai. Nityananda ki jai. Gaura Premanandi. Krishna, you alright? How are your hands, Brian? You okay? Tough is tough. Transcendental. Doesn't feel any pain. I would. Okay, so as we mentioned before, today is Nityananda Trayodasi. It's the appearance of Dave Sri Nityananda now. There was a very nice article in the latest Back to Godhead magazine, actually, which I got through the post a couple of days ago. Now, everybody knows who Nityananda is, right? Yeah? Anybody who doesn't know Nityananda, who Nityananda is, just out of interest? Okay. Well, Nityananda is amazing personality. There's a nice article in here about Nityananda Prabhu, Mercy Supreme, which I thought I'd read a bit from, which is very, very nice little section here about Panchu Tattva and Guru Tattva. Explains very nicely about Lord Nityananda, actually. I don't want to go into too much detail, because I'm sure we'll have a nice class tomorrow from another Mukunda over at the farm about Lord Nityananda, but I thought this was rather nice. I was reading this, so just it helps to clarify a few things quite nicely. Everybody heard of Panchatattva, right? Yeah? Everybody knows what Panchatattva is? Yes? Okay. Let's explain. The term Panchatattva refers to 5 divine personalities, yes? Who represent the essence of divinity in Gaudiya Vaishnavism. We're all Gaudiya Vaishnavas, right? Yes? Yeah. So in our line, these 5 personalities represent the essence of divinity in our sampradaya, in our process, in our family. A line that was established by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the first tattva, is the embodiment of, who can tell me who Chaitanya is the embodiment of? Does anybody know?
Both Lord Krishna and Radha.
Yes, exactly. Lord Chaitanya is a combination of Lord Krishna and Radha, Radha and Krishna, yes. The Lord, in his original feature, along with his Hladini Shakti, Shakti means potency, Hladini means pleasure, along with his pleasure potency, which is Radharani, yes. So it's Krishna, his pleasure potency, Radharani, combined in one personality. The Lord in this form is the source of all manifestations of the Supreme. Nityananda Prabhu, whose birthday or appearance day we're celebrating today and tomorrow, is the second tattva, and he is, does anybody know who the original form, the original source of Nityananda is? Can anybody?
Balaram.
Lord Balaram, and he's Krishna's brother. Yes, correct. Krishna's elder brother, actually, and the support of the universe. So, as Nityananda, he serves Krishna in the form of Sri Chaitanya, functioning as his chief assistant in the Sankirtan, the congregational chanting movement. Yes, so we've just been doing that, right? They've been out on the street doing it in the rain, bless them. And we've been doing it here. So this is the movement that Lord Nityananda and Lord Chaitanya inaugurated, for the spiritual process for this age, the recommended process, as enunciated and as taught by God himself. Advaita Acharya is the third tattva. Now, Advaita Acharya embodies the principles of both creation and destruction. As such, he is the incarnation of both Mahavishnu. Mahavishnu is the first expansion of Krishna, yes, who creates the basic elements of the material energy, the material existence. And Sadashiva, a form of Vishnu who manifests as Shiva, Rudra, for cosmic destruction. So this is Advaita Acharya. So when we think about, remember we're talking about the Panchatattva, we have Chaitanya, Nityananda, and Sri Advaita. He's got the white beard, yes. For those of you who don't know who he is, you see him in the picture in the Panchatattva, the 5 personalities. Gadadhara is the 4th personality. He represents Krishna's internal energy, especially the pleasure potency of his chief consort Srimati Radharani. And Srivas Thakur, the other personality, the 5th tattva, represents pure devotees in general, and he is a manifestation of Narada Muni, a devotee par excellence. There's nobody who is as bigger or greater devotee as Narada Muni. If you think what Narada Muni does, for those of you who've read the histories and the Vedas and everything else, Narada Muni is a very popular personality who's always around, right, somewhere, yeah? And he's always preaching Krishna consciousness, right? Very, very great servant of Krishna, very great devotee of Krishna. As noted above, Nityananda Prabhu is a manifestation of Balaram. And he is the original master, he's the prototype of Guru Tattva. He thus plays a crucial role in promoting the chanting of the holy name, the prescribed means of God realization in Kali Yuga, the current age, especially Nagar Kirtan, or street chanting. So Nityananda on his birthday will be very pleased with his birthday present the devotees have given him today, going out on the street chanting. It's a very, very nice present for him, right, to do. Very wonderful activity. And that's for the benefit of all. So you're not doing it for selfish reasons, right? Not really. We enjoy it and it's very blissful to do, but actually there's a much more higher purpose behind doing that. Yeah? Going out there in the rain, you know, making your hair go frizzy out, you know. I know what that's like. Sacrifice, right? It's a sacrifice. You know? Fantastic, isn't it? And that's a sacrifice for each other. So there's a higher purpose in this. It isn't just for pleasure, yeah, although that comes. Yeah. But there is a very high reason for doing this. Because that mantra, as we know, this Hare Krishna mantra will go into the ether and it will go into the hearts and the minds and the ears of all the personalities in the high street, sitting in their restaurants, eating their steaks and, you know, and drinking their beer. But they don't realise what's coming at them there. They probably look out the window in, you know, amusement, probably maybe a little bewilderment. Think, what are they doing out there? You know. So they don't understand. But this is a very, very high and very beautiful and amazing thing you're doing. And you've done. His exemplary character as the embodiment of the ideal guru can also be seen in his compassionate nature, as displayed in prominent episodes in the Chaitanya Leela, that's the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya, such as the rescue of Jagai and Madhava, very famous story discussed below. We won't go into that here, maybe we'll hear about that tomorrow, I don't know. Nityananda is considered the trunk of the Bhakta Kalpa Vriksha. And Bhakta Kalpa Vriksha is a metaphorical tree, a desire tree, a tree of desire. And Nityananda is considered to be the trunk of that tree. This means that all pure devotional service is rooted in his divine service. As the Chaitanya Charitamrita makes clear, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu cannot be understood or approached without the mercy of Nityananda Prabhu. In his capacity as the cardinal spiritual master of the universe, Nityananda acts as an intermediary between Chaitanya and the devotees in general. Thus he's serving as a model for all of the gurus who follow. Yes? Just as Balaram, Krishna's elder brother, is described as Krishna's second body, so too is Nityananda the second body of Sri Chaitanya. Krishna is his original form, is simply engaged in play. Yeah? That's all Krishna does. Yes, Leela, he just plays, he just enjoys. Yes? For his own pleasure and for the pleasure of his devotees, while serious affairs, they're called Gambara Birata, are managed by his first expansion, who is Balaram, along with Balaram's various Vishnu manifestations in charge of the material world's maintenance. A king may be interested, that's Vishnu Tattva, that's the Mahavishnu, Gaura-Arati, Vishnu Kishore, these Vishnus that manifest the material energy and are in the atoms and also within our heart. Yeah? Yes. Vishnu Tattva. A king may be interested in merely enjoying his well-deserved delights while his immediate associates tend to the various services and necessities. The servitor form of Godhead, whether as Balaram or Nityananda, functions similar to those associates in relation to Lord Krishna or to Lord Chaitanya. But the most important point is this. Nityananda Prabhu is the embodiment of divine mercy. Through him, the grace of Sri Chaitanya is extended to all souls, even those who might be removed from spiritual practice or fallen by dint of indulgence in material sense pleasure. In the Gaudiya tradition, therefore, Nityananda's mercy is considered essential for obtaining the blessings of the Lord. So he's a very essential personality for us. And I know in my own spiritual life, if ever I have any problems or if I've gone through any issues or problems, I always pray. Somebody told me years and years ago, if you have any problems in your spiritual life, always pray to Nityananda to give you strength to help you. Yeah? Very important, and from my experience, it always works. Nityananda is very merciful and very supportive and very strong. Gives you strength, gives you mercy to achieve what you need to do and remove obstacles and everything else in your devotional service and to help you to approach Krishna and Lord Chaitanya. Bhaktivinoda Thakur, the great 19th century spiritual luminary from Bengal, explains in his book Jaya Dharma, nice book if you ever want to read it, it's a bit deep but it's nice to read, and Navadvip Dharma Mahatmya, chapter 4, that pure love of God has two primary characteristics: Madhurya, sweetness, and Audurya, generosity or magnanimity. Within the context of Nityananda Tattva, the highest love in Krishna Lila is generally associated with Madhurya, referring to the Lord's sweet loving pastimes with the cowherd girls of Vraj, the gopis. Everyone understand or heard of that? This highest rasa, this highest Lila is that Krishna with the gopis. Yes. But higher than even Madhurya is Adurya, in which Madhurya prem is distributed magnanimously without consideration of who is qualified and who is not qualified. This is the only distinction between Balaram and Nityananda, qualifying Nityananda as the embodiment of mercy supreme. This is really life. That's lovely. It is notable the current Hare Krishna movement, following the long-established Gaudiya tradition, glorifies the Panchatattva, including Nityananda, with a standardized mantra that is always sung and chanted prior to the well-known Hare Krishna mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. This Panchatattva mantra is rendered as follows. We were singing it just now. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura-Bhakta Vrinda. All glories to Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Chaitanya's personal expansion, Shri Advaita, his incarnation, Shri Gadadhar, his energy, and Shri Srivas, his devotee. These are the 5 aspects of devotional service. Gaudiya Vaishnavacharyas teach that without chanting this mantra, it is impossible to reach the higher levels of spiritual perfection. So I thought that was quite nicely explained, sort of something about Nityananda. So Nityananda, in many senses, is, for us, it's probably very, very important to understand who he is. Very, very important to develop a relationship with him. We know that we develop spiritual relationships with our gurus, right? Yeah. I think we all have that experience. Those of us who, we all have developed a relationship with Srila Prabhupada, right? Yeah. Even though we've never met him physically, yeah. Do we not all have we have a relation? So that this relationship is on a different platform of consciousness, right? It's not in a material sense, it's a spiritual relationship, right? And it's the same with Lord Nityananda, yeah? If we beg out for mercy of Nityananda, he will give it to us very, very freely. He's very magnanimous and very supportive and will help us in all our endeavours in spiritual life. So, So happy birthday to him. It's a very important personality in our tradition, and we should never forget that, and always remember that if we have any problems, just pray to Nityananda to help, and he will. So, okay, now we're going to read a bit of Bhagavad Gita in a minute, but I think, you going to do Radha Madhava? We have the choir here? Yes? Okay, so Nityananda Ki Jaya. And I hope we'll see you tomorrow as well at Radhanath's for the full program of the festival to celebrate Nityananda's appearance day. But that's just a little overview of some things which I thought was quite nice, a little article. There's much more about it if you subscribe to this magazine. They need your help, actually. Yeah, because they are struggling a little bit, I know, and who distributes this has been in touch the same, this because of online stuff and people. This magazine, Srila Prabhupada started this magazine way back, So it would be very nice. It's not expensive, 25, 30 quid a year or something, So if you can subscribe to that, it's a beautiful magazine. Keep it going. Otherwise, we may lose it. Use it or lose it.
You can post the details on the group.
Yeah, of course. We can post some links and stuff. Yeah. All right. Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Okay, continuing with the Bhagavad Gita. I don't know where we got to last time. Maybe where the bookmark is. Chapter 2, verse 10. Yes, is that about right? Yeah. You weren't here, were you? Something like that. I think that's where they were. That's where we were. So we're coming to the more the teachings of Bhagavad Gita now. We passed the setting of the scene and understanding Arjuna's difficulties and consequently our difficulties as well, to some degree. Now we're going to find out why and what we do about that. There's a difficulty there for a start. Material world is always giving us some problem, isn't it? At least it's Krishna's falling on your head, not something else. So text 10 then, I presume, yes? Okay. Tam uvacha rishikeshaha prahasan svabharata. This is from Viva Bharata. Senayor ubayor madhye Vishidantam midam vachaha. O descendant of Bharat, at that time Krishna, smiling in the midst of both the armies, spoke the following words to the grief-stricken Arjuna. Krishna is Arjuna grief-stricken and Krishna's smiling. Well, Krishna is probably always smiling, actually. Purport. The talk was going on between intimate friends, namely the Hrishikesh and the Gudakesh. As friends, both of them were on the same level, but one of them voluntarily became a student of the other. Krishna was smiling because a friend had chosen to become a disciple. As Lord of all, he is always in the superior position of the master of everyone. And yet the Lord agrees to be a friend, a son, or a lover for a devotee who wants him in such a role. But when he was accepted as the master, he at once assumed the role and talked with the disciple like the master, with gravity as it is required. It appears that talk between the master and the disciple was openly exchanged in the presence of both armies, so that all were benefited. So the talks of Bhagavad Gita are not for any particular person, society or community, but they are for all, and friends or enemies are equally entitled to hear them. I think that's pretty self-explanatory, really. I don't need to go into too much depth about that, but the Bhagavad Gita is for everybody. Yes, that's an important point to learn. The Bhagavad Gita isn't just for Hindus, it isn't just for Indians, it's not just for Arjuna, it's for everybody. Because it surpasses all other processes and all other understanding and all other knowledge, yes? Very simple to understand if you have some realization of the fact, but very difficult for some other people to understand. The nice thing about Srila Prabhupada, the Bhagavad Gita, as we've discussed many, many times, has been translated many, many times, hundreds of times. And yet no translations of this Bhagavad Gita that have come before have made devotees of Krishna. Right? Yeah. Because it's been interpreted or misinterpreted. Yeah? Srila Prabhupada's translation is very direct, so therefore you're plugging straight into the power source. And so you get realization. If you accept the words of Guru and Krishna, you immediately understand this stuff, yeah? Yeah? And who here doesn't understand? It seems very simple to us, doesn't it? Yeah? To understand what's being said here. But so many people just confuse everything with their interpretation and their mental speculation of, Krishna meant this or Krishna said that. They're But everybody could understand this very simply. It's not complicated to understand, really, is it? And everybody misses the point. But Prabhupada's made it very clear and very direct with his translation, with what Krishna is saying. That's what he's saying. If you accept that, then you'll understand, and you'll have realization, and you'll have knowledge, because we are in knowledge of this anyway. Everybody, actually. So it's meant for everybody, not just for certain people. Text 11. Shri Bhagavan Vacha Ashyochyan Anvashochastvam Prajna Vadamcha Badbhashase Gatusun Agatusunscha Nanushchanti Panditaha. It's a lovely language, Sanskrit, isn't it? It's got lovely, very elegant language. You sort of learn to train or speak it a little bit. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, while speaking learned words, you are mourning for what is not worthy of grief. Those who are wise lament neither for the living nor the dead. So Krishna's referring to Arjuna's previous statements where he's saying that, if I do this murdering, if I do this killing and everything, it's going to be detrimental to me, it's going to be detrimental to everybody. Better I go and sit in a cave somewhere, not do this. That's out of his compassion he was feeling that. And they were wise words, yes? But Krishna's saying, even though your words were wise and learned, you are mourning for what is not worthy of grief. What isn't worthy of grief? Anybody?
Nothing is worthy of grief.
Well, that's nothing. But he's referring particularly to the bodies. This is material vision, right? He's not seeing that everybody is eternal, spirit, soul. He's seeing people are material bodies. He's looking at it from the material, for the purpose of Bhagavad Gita. Arjuna knew that. But as we said, this conversation's to benefit everybody. But in one sense, you're right. Very true. But in this particular situation, we're referring, because the next verses, then we go on to understand about the nature of the soul, right? How we're eternal. So, purport. The Lord at once took the position of the teacher and chastised the student, calling him indirectly a fool, saying, you're missing the point, you're acting in the wrong way, your intelligence has been stolen away here. You're not acting correctly, you're not thinking correctly. Maybe that compassion is there, but it's not the right, ultimately on the highest level of our understanding, it's not true, it's not correct. The Lord said, you are talking like a learned man, but you do not know that one who is learned, one who knows what is the body and what is a soul, does not lament for any stage of the body, neither in the living nor in the dead condition. As explained in later chapters, it will be clear that that knowledge means to know matter and spirit and the controller of both. That's a very, very profound statement. That is what knowledge is. Yes? That is the sum and bone. That is the goal of all knowledge, to understand that. If you know that, you know everything. Yeah? Because everything in this material world is based on this misconception or this idea that we are the body. Everything. Yeah? Everything that is going on, if you look at everything in the world, you look at the news, for example, look at what's going on in the world, all of the wars, all of the problems, all of the exploitation, all of the abuse, everything is based on this concept that I'm the body, and everything is for my enjoyment, yeah? For me to enjoy this body. And and we'll kill the animals to eat them, we'll destroy the planet to make some product which will make me feel happy, or make me look better, or make me, some drug which improve my condition, some drug, whatever it may be. It's all based on this misconception, this one problem that I am the body. Yes, everything. If you think about it, right? nothing matters, because that's the whole point. Yeah? Everything is based on that. So really, in one sense, none of that actually is real and doesn't really matter. Not worthy of grief, even. You know, we think about that. If we meditate on that, understand that point, it seems quite harsh in a way when you think about it. Quite a harsh thing to say, but it's not, actually. It's higher than that. It's much more compassionate, much higher understanding than that. And above that, there's even other aspects of this. I mean, when we say that everything is based on this conception of the body, a lot of people think they're their mind also. But that is also part of the material energy, right? We understand that? That, you know, so people who are operating perhaps on a little higher level of cleverness in the world are still operating on that same platform in one sense, because that is also part of Prakriti, part of the material energy. Earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence and ahankara, false ego, are all part of the material energy. So anybody who's operating on them from that platform or that perspective is operating in the wrong way. And always will, then there'll be no peace, there'll be no happiness, just problems. And people will look up to them, and we see, you know, so many scholars and philosophers and even comedians and politicians, you know, people worship. Oh, he's so clever, he's so wonderful, but it's just because he's, you know, operating. Yeah, the people are worshipping comedians, right? You see on TV. Yeah. And they're listening to them and think they know something, you know. Speculating. These great scientists and, you know, everything else. Oh, we think this and we think that. And, oh, fantastic. Oh, yeah, wonderful. No, it's all on the wrong, it's on the mental platform. It's just speculation. Arjuna argued that religious principles should be given more importance than politics or sociology, but he did not know that knowledge of matter, soul and the supreme are even more important than religious formularies. So there's another aspect of this whole thing, religion. Yeah? So we may think, well, actually, you know, okay, so the material energy is one thing, okay, if I have lead a religious life, then that's going to be good. But no, even here, that's being dismissed as being not worthy. Yeah? Because again, if we think about it, it's based on the body. I am a Christian, I am a Buddhist, I am a Hindu, I am a Jew, yeah, I'm black, I'm white, I'm this, I'm that, everything, even our religion, which you may think is a higher state of being, isn't, because it's still in that under that same umbrella of the materialism and thinking I'm the body. There is no such thing as a Christian soul. There's no such thing as a Hindu soul, no such thing as a Buddhist soul, right? No. For us, it's easy to understand. We're all soul. Yeah? When you leave the body, you're not a Hindu when you leave the body. That what leaves the body isn't a Hindu. That's just an association with this present lump of matter that we're inhabiting. Yeah? Or a Christian, or whatever it may be, right? Yeah? So this is very high understanding. Very simple, very high, but nobody understands that. Yeah? So we've been given access to an amazingly high level of knowledge that seems to us so simple to understand. Yet you present that to someone in the street and they'll look at you as if, you know, and glaze over and think, you know, correct, yeah. I've seen it so many times when I'm doing books, you know. Standing at the book table outside Closet Krishna and talking to people, you can see they're sort of, what the hell's he talking about? You know, I don't understand. And they don't. But for us it seems like, but it's so important to understand that. And surely that's an important thing to understand, but they can't. Because their intelligence is stolen away by this concept that I'm the body, I'm the mind, this maya, this illusion. And even religious things, we've discussed this many times before. You know, different religions, they have no realization, they have no knowledge. You know, I talk to many people of different religions who have no spiritual knowledge at all. Okay, they're good people. They perform good charitable acts and they're kind to others and, you know, whatever else, but they don't have any understanding of spirituality. You know, they'll keep a dog and yet they'll kill a cow and not see that what they're doing there. You know, what part of thou shalt not kill do you not understand? It's simple, isn't it? It's so simple. Or it does to me anyway. And because he was lacking in that knowledge, he should not have posed himself as a very learned man. As he did not happen to be a very learned man, he was consequently lamenting for something which was unworthy of lamentation. The body is born and is destined to be vanquished today or tomorrow. Therefore, the body is not as important as the soul. Now, we may object to that. Some people I know I've spoken to have objected to that, saying, well, you know, I love this person and I want this person to be healthy and I want this person to be happy and I want this person to be mentally peaceful and have good physical health. But when it comes to the point of death, yeah, and I've seen this in my own life, how many people are actually in love with that dead body? Yeah? It's not the body. When the person has left the body, that is just a lump of matter, right? Yeah, which decays and rots away. Yeah, the love that we feel for others is deeper than that. Yes, the depth of that love is the soul, is for the person within the body. So when Krishna is saying to Arjuna about you're lamenting for something which is not worthy of grief, it's not. Yeah, it isn't. But love exists on the spiritual platform. Yeah, we may love another person, but it's not the body. The body will get older, the person within the body will die. We just have to have that realization that it's just a machine that they're using. Real love exists for the soul within the body. Yeah, and with Krishna consciousness, as we develop Krishna consciousness, we learn to love everybody on that platform. Yeah, we do. Yeah, even people who we don't particularly like in a material sense. Yeah. That comes with the practice, with that realization, with that knowledge, yes, that they are acting in this illusion because they're in ignorance. Yeah? Jesus said it, didn't he, on the cross? You know, forgive them, they know not what they're doing. He was being killed by them. He was being murdered, hung up and murdered by them, and he said, forgive them, they don't know what they're doing. Wow, this just really makes you realise how strong this ignorance is as it covers the consciousness, isn't it? Yeah? Very, very, very profound, very deep understanding and realisation of something. Seems horrible, you know, what they were doing, you know, what people would do to other people, let alone a spiritual personality like Jesus. Imagine, you know, just imagine that situation. What on earth would possess people to do that? Ignorance, discovering, you know, misunderstanding or not understanding what the truth is, which we fortunately have, yeah, very fortunately have, due to the mercy of Lord Nityananda, Guru, and Srila Prabhupada, yeah, as we were talking about earlier. These personalities have given us this knowledge freely and revealed this stuff to us through our hearts, because we're doing what they ask, chanting Hare Krishna mantra. That's what's doing it. That's the key. That's what's doing it, yeah? Isn't it? Yeah? I mean, I tried to sort of, the other day I was trying to recollect what I was like before I started chanting. You ever done that? Think back. I didn't, you know, it's difficult to remember, but I wasn't. It's a bit strange now looking back on them days and thinking, wow, what I must have been like back then. I didn't have any knowledge of this stuff, you know. And when I first came in contact with the devotees, I didn't have any knowledge of this stuff. I knew I was looking for something, yeah. But it was only about their mercy that something occurred, something happened. There was some symbiotic exchange of some energy that produced something in me which made me think, wow, and a light went on, you know. And then I think back, it was because I started chanting, yeah. And I became vegetarian, obviously, and things like that, these little things which affect the consciousness, because we know how what we eat is extremely important. What we put into our bodies affects the consciousness, affects our minds, affects our intelligence, affects the way the brain works, affects everything, yeah. And I learned that through experience, through knowledge, understanding that, you know, mental health is infected. It's affected by what we do, what we ingest into our bodies. So again, we've been given another great gift by being able to eat the correct food, right? Stuff that will spiritually will elevate us, Food that will produce purity within us, will purify our bodies and minds and consciousness. Whereas most people don't. So therefore you understand when you speak to people now I understand why, when I used to speak to them people at the book table, and I could tell that they just didn't get it. Because they couldn't. Because they're covered, their consciousness is covered by this tamaguna, this ignorance. Because of what they're doing, because of the intoxication they're taking, because of the food they're eating, etc., etc. So very important we live the right lifestyle, to understand this stuff. And then it's revealed to us very simply and very easily and very directly in our hearts and in our minds, yes? And through realization. Because it's all about realization, ultimately, Knowledge is realization, It's inductive knowledge, it comes from within. It's knowing something, that's realization. For one who knows this is actually learned. One who knows that I'm not the body, that I'm a spiritual being, that I'm the spirit soul, and that everybody else is a spiritual soul. That is real knowledge. And for him, then there is no cause for lamentation regardless of the condition of the material body. So we're all getting older, we're all starting to suffer aches and pains, right, Jill? And bits and pieces. Don't think it won't happen to you. If you're the young ones, like you over there, it'll happen to you as well. You can smile. But it's true. These bodies are material machines, and they wear out, and all the bits and the joints start to creak after a while, and need lubrication or something. How you lubricate? Me might know. We just replace parts these days, don't we? We don't lubricate us. We don't have an oil can like the Tin Man in the Wizard of Oz. We have to replace bits now, isn't it? Isn't that right? So somebody was telling me the other day that most yoga teachers always have bad knees. Is that right? Yeah. Apparently. So yoga's not that good for you then, is it? If the yoga teachers always have bad knees. Has to get replaced. But anyway, the body's going to wear out. The body is a machine. It's just a machine made of materials. Krishna says that in the Bhagavad Gita, right? Seated in a machine that's made of material energy. And it'll wear out, and it'll start to rust, and it'll start to lock up, and it'll start to cause you pain, it'll start to cause you grief, and you'll start to look all wrinkled, and your teeth will fall out. Yes? Your hair will disappear. Yes? And your eyes will start to go, all sorts of stuff. So we all have to contend with that, everyone. There's no exceptions. No exceptions. So what do we do about that? We have to understand this knowledge first and foremost. Get it deeply ingrained into our consciousness. This Bhagavad Gita, this chanting and everything. Get it ingrained in our being, because otherwise we'll suffer more later. And as Prabhupada says here, for him there is no cause for lamentation regardless the condition of the material body. Now, I imagine it's quite a high state of consciousness to achieve. We see it in Srila Prabhupada, don't we? When we look at Prabhupada when he got older, when he got ill and everything else, we could see that he wasn't in any way, shape or form his body, right? And I suppose he wasn't for many, many years anyway, even in his healthier times. He was on a different platform. Now that's not an easy, I doubt that's a very easy state of being consciousness to achieve. I know for me, as soon as I get an ache or a pain, it's like, whoa, and I'm sort of, where's the paracetamol, whatever. Yeah, so we're a long way from that, actually, I think. Isn't it true?
Bhakti Tirtha Swami Maharaj as well.
Yeah, Bhakti Tirtha Swami, yes. I don't know if anybody knows Bhakti Tirtha Swami. Everybody heard of him? He had cancer, very, very bad. His body was riddled with cancer. And our Guru, Maharaj, Radha I went to see him in hospital, and he was emaciated and very, very close to dying, very close to dying. And you can't imagine how we must think about how painful and how horrible that must be. And our Guru went to see him in the hospital, and Bhakti Tirtha Swami turned to our Guru and said, "It doesn't get any better than this." And he was in ecstasy. Yeah? They were chanting together, and he said, and he was in a state of ecstasy. How many people, out there would you think would be in a state of ecstasy if they're in that condition? Same with Dhanagati's Guru. He was leaving his body a little while ago. He had the same cancer, but he wasn't. You could see he wasn't suffering like the majority of people were. This Krishna consciousness takes you to a different level of consciousness. Can deal with these things so much better. Yeah? And I think I notice it to some smaller degree in my life. Yeah. That would have done maybe some years ago. So it does work. It's just that we have to persevere and make sure that we don't fall away. We have to keep focused. Don't let Maya, and don't let distractions distract us. Yeah? That's the important thing. And how do we do that? Well, the most important thing is to keep good associations. We were discussing last night on the book club. My Guru I saw a quote from him the other day saying the most important thing in the universe is good association. Then we'll remain strong. Then we'll remain focused. Yeah? Then like that example of sticks. One stick you can easily break. You put a lot of sticks together, you become strong. You can't break them easily. So always try and keep this association with like-minded people, with other devotees. And then we'll keep advancing, and we'll keep improving, and we'll keep each other strong, and keep each other and support each other. Yeah? That's very important, to keep the association, to help to understand this knowledge, to enjoy the bliss of Harinam. Yes? And it's all very lovely and beautiful. And like I've said many days in the poems of the past, if you find something better, let me know. I've never found anything better. Any questions or comments or Prem, you have anything to add? Corrections?
It was a wonderful, really nice class.
Thank you. Anybody else? Any questions or comments? It's okay. Dave, you have any questions?
I was thinking a few minutes ago, you were saying that in America you've got all these self-righteous Christians who are doing all sorts of things because they think they're right, because
yeah. Yeah, it's an odd. It's always been a rather odd one to me, I must admit. And I know I'm quite intimate with some Christians, and it seems a very strange mindset they have, to be honest, sometimes. But I don't want to criticise. They have their faith, and which is good. I mean, they do have faith, but they can be very, very fanatical and very over the top, can't they?
Close-minded.
In America, oh, absolutely. Yeah. They have very, very strong lead blinkers on. Their way is the only way, and that's quite prominent in their consciousness. Yeah.
Well, I was raised in the Church of England, and I did 40 years and never went to church. And the last couple of years been homeless and that, started going. Not for Jesus, just for the fringe benefits and warm place. And coffee and tea and food.
Yeah, I mean, they're charitable. It's that, but
and they're nice people.
Yeah. But they're a religion, like Prabhupada was saying in this purport here about religiosity. The religion also is covered by the modes of nature. There are religions in the mode of ignorance also. They may have faith, but they don't have knowledge. Again, it comes back to this point of what knowledge really is. They don't have this knowledge that we have. And that's where the problem lies. So they're operating on a lower mode of nature. They're doing good things, charitable work, being kind to others maybe, etc., etc., and then they're opening slaughterhouses. Well, that's hypocrisy, right? Total. But they don't see that. What did Jesus say? Forgive them, for they know not what they do. They may have some faith, but that's as far as it goes. And that just proves where they are on the path, doesn't it? That's all. The proof is in the pudding. You know, they haven't reached the same, haven't been allowed, or haven't, through the mercy of Guru. Jesus said, there are much more I have to tell you. You know, I haven't told you everything. You know, what he was teaching was for people who can understand to a certain point. Yeah, but they can't go beyond that. So it's their first steps. You know, so it's a bit like that. Yeah.
Prabhupada said the only thing he's got time for is like the Salvation Army.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Yeah.
They're actual Christians, aren't they, doing good? And,
Yeah. When it comes to it, that's right. It's all good, but it's not transcendental.
No.
It's like, you know, I think Dhanagati's guru was listening. Oh no, it was Tamal Krishna. I was listening to a lecture of his. He was talking about Christianity being like kindergarten schooling. You know, this is, you know, university and higher. We're in a different state. It's all the same in one sense, but there are different levels of understanding and knowledge and everything else. And this is a very high level. We've just been very lucky we could do it very simply because I'm not intellectual or scholarly. So, you know, that's just through the mercy of Nityananda and Prabhupada that we can have access to this knowledge, even though we're not very clever. I'm certainly not. So, you know.
Clever than most.
He's a sweetie, isn't he?
Yeah.
Anything else?
Yeah, it's like, just going back to what you were saying, like the charitable acts and stuff like that, you know, which is common in a lot of religions, which is, you know, it's all good stuff. And but like you said, it's kind of like baby steps. That's just common, being a good human being sort of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
It's that bit, but it's still stuck in the material mode. So like you said, it's not transcendental.
No.
You're doing these good acts, which is fabulous, but you're still going to be stuck in samsara.
That's right. Yeah.
You're still going to
and karma. I mean, even whatever the karma, they don't understand karma.
Yeah.
They can't seem to get to grips with that. You know. You know, I mean, we've discussed these things many times. There's a simple thing of vegetarianism, just a thing of killing. You know. I used to have a Jehovah's Witness used to come to my house. I remember a lady, she was very nice. I mean, I used to talk to her. She had a dog, you know, but she could not understand. She couldn't understand the difference between her dog and a cow. And I say, you wouldn't kill your dog. Of course I wouldn't, she used to say. And I said, well, why would you kill a cow? And they can't see that, you know, because the dog's a person and they're close to it. They don't have that vision, and I could never understand how you can't see that there's no difference, you know. But they can't. That's this tamak, this is ignorance, so religion in the mode of ignorance. Yeah? They can't see. Which is, you know, sad in one sense, but it also explains a lot, and it also proves that this is right. Yeah? All proof. Prabhupada is right. Prabhupada's never wrong. Krishna's never wrong, actually. We may believe it, we may not think we agree with it. Irrelevant. Doesn't matter what we think, because we know nothing. Yeah? Prabhupada does, because he's direct representative of God. And you can't get any higher knowledge than that. Okay, so time for Arati Wiz. Yeah, it's gone. Usually he's blowing the conch shell by now, you know, saying, finish. Anyway, so thank you very much. And thank you, and my gratitude to Lord Nityananda for his mercy. Hare Krishna.
Jaya, Jaya, Gaura Chandre, Arati Kishore.
Hare
Radha Hare
Nityananda Prabhu ki Jaya. नाम चाहे शिला हरिदास है। प्रेम से कहो जय श्री कृष्णा चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर गौर भक्ति वृंद की। All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to all glories to all glories to Shri Guru, Shri Gaura, Shri Nityananda. A festival की महाप्रभु की
Thank you so much.
So we have a very special festival tomorrow. So we'll have a formal celebration again tomorrow, a slightly bigger way. And so please all come. I'm starting from 12 o'clock. And our Radha Prabhu has made a lot of preparations. He's always generous. And let's take over his place tomorrow. We just take over, isn't it? We just take over your house, your everything. Just imagine every festival. And he's so eager every time, to invite people. So eager. I've never seen anyone so generous to, bring everyone together. And we ransack his house and, it takes about a week for him to fix everything. Just to wash his bed sheets and the rest of the things that goes on there. That's amazing. That's incredible service. And that's the heart of a devotee. That's the heart of a devotee. Any inconvenience for them is the mercy of Krishna. And that's how we should see it. Yeah? It's the mercy of Krishna. He's embodiment of that. He's embodiment of a pure soul who likes devotees so much, doesn't matter what inconveniences he faces, he wants them to back again, come back again, again. Yeah. Beautiful. Thank you. Any other announcements? Just to the mentorship program that we're starting, I think this today is formal announcement that we're going to start it definitely, and by mid-Feb we should have our first meeting. Whoever is has signed up or willing to sign up will organize our first meeting. So that's going to be introduction meeting, and then we'll take it from there. This is going to be a very systematic study of different themes, what we read in Bhagavad Gita. So there are many kind of parts of this mentorship. The first part is basically establishing our connection with Krishna, understanding who Krishna is, what his personality and things. That's the Sambandha stage of our bhakti, that we want to establish our relationship with Krishna. Then comes Abhideya. Abhideya means that how we get there. And then comes the Prayojan. What's the purpose of going to Krishna? That's the third stage of our program. The first stage is Sambandha, that who Krishna is, what our relationship, and understanding the whole picture. Okay? So we'll start that. So if anyone is willing to sign up or wants to be part of it, this is not something that it's a classroom. This is one-to-one kind of support and help if anyone needs. So in that one we're reading Bhagavad Gita, we're already doing here, but there are different themes that we're going to get through. Okay? So please just get involved and make it successful. Yes, there'll be some commitment that maybe weekly or every 2 weeks. Let's see how current devotees take up. If they want every 2 weeks to have a class or meetings, or every week, we are flexible, because we are all kind of working people and we understand each other's needs. So that's there. Any questions on that? Any doubts? No?
What are the timings for it?
We will decide after introductory meeting. So timings basically is going to be on Zoom. It's not going to be in person, but expectation is that at least every 4 weeks we should meet in person. So come someone's home and have a meeting, discussion, have some prasadam, and perform some arti and things like that together. So there is a formal introduction to whole package, what you see happening in the temple. We try to kind of inculcate that in our habits and principles. So we start doing all of that. So it's a bit serious matter. Yes, we come to our Friday Sangha, but Friday Sangha we have very broad and very general kind of discussions we have. We don't go into depth of things. Unless people ask questions, then we step in and try to get into that. But this is going to be more in-depth study of certain things. And there'll be some homeworks to do as well, little bit, not a lot of homework. So we'll have a handbook given out to you. We'll have a handbook, we have a handbook, and plus there's a handbook for mentees who would like to join. So we'll kind of send over. But after the introduction meeting, we'll formalize that and then go from there. Yeah. Someone decided, it depends who. Maybe Tuesday may work better, Monday may work better. We already have Thursday book reading club, so we can't clash with that. We can't do on Friday, weekends. It's doable if that works. But so Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or weekends. Yes. Any other questions, anyone? Hare Krishna. Enjoy the feast.